Hey
Welcome.
guys, I have very important news for Comicsgate, Ethan.
Oh.
It has to do with the trademark trial.
Let's go.
This is really, really important stuff, Ethan.
Are you breaking this to me? Is my lawyer? My lawyer should have told me, or already did, but you're telling me. Let me see here.
No, I just I'm paying attention to what's going on with this trial.
Now hold on. Okay.
This is a notice of. Yeah, this is the re-examination proceeding that was an ex parte proceeding that Preston Poulter was not allowed to participate in because he opted to go for an ex parte proceeding where it's one-sided and your attorney had sole access to the examining attorney at the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office. And today, after months of haggling and talking back and forth, we have a notice of termination acceptance. This is really good news, Ethan. Notice of termination of proceeding. The re-examination proceeding is over, Ethan. You won. The USPTO has terminated the proceeding as explained below. No response is required. We could stop right there. Upon review of the evidence of record, USPTO determined that the registrant, that's you, Ethan, has demonstrated use of the mark in commerce for all goods subject to the proceeding. All of them. Every single one of them. The evidence and arguments provided by the registrant demonstrates valid use of the relevant goods in interstate commerce. Registrant has also established that the relevant goods were provided through trade channels that directly affect interstate commerce during the period of time relevant to this proceeding. Accordingly, no change is required to the registration, Preston Poulter. None. And you've wasted 3 years of your life on this bullshit. And the proceeding is terminated. 37 CFR 2.94 USPTO Attorney Advisor Renee Cervance. Cervance. I'm mispronouncing you, Renee. But thank you so much, Renee. We knew that a clear interpretation of the Comicsgate trademark, not merely as a service mark, which is another application that's pending, which will now go forward, in my view, because of this new proceeding. I think you probably knocked out almost all of his arguments in the cancellation proceeding. I think what will happen now is that trial that was over at the Trademark Trial and Appeal Board is now going to proceed. And, you know, maybe it'll end very quickly, too, because there's not much more to talk about at a cancellation proceeding besides the use of commerce. I wanted to give a few shout outs, Ethan. Anthony Romano, Dark Gift Comics, is a hero. Critias, believe it or not, is a hero.
Redeems himself, more or less. Yes.
No, he did the right thing.
Yes,
he licensed that thing out. He actually licensed it to more than one individual. He did, Anthony. Anthony also created a book for Mandy's campaign for Wart the Wizard called Sunday Follies. And both of these bore the Comicsgate trademark that Critias had licensed to Anthony. Under the terms of the agreement that was reached in, I believe, 2020. But also, you know, shout out to Mandy. She printed thousands or hundreds. I don't know how many copies of Sunday Follies went out, but they all went out with the Wart the Wizard campaign. I bought both of those campaigns, Ethan. I found that attorney in Fairfax County, Scott Hudeman.
Thank you to you, Robert Romano. You're the guy who got this started.
Oh, man, what a journey.
Incredible. Absolutely incredible. Oh, hold on a second. Let's take a minute to have my lawyer pop in here. Here's Scott Houdeman. Hello, sir.
Wow.
How are you? You sound great.
All right. So how about a little background? Started out with you. I'll just walk you guys through the timeline. So Anthony Malpica Critias got a registration, but his comic wasn't coming out. He was having problems. Preston thought that trademark law was like fumbling a football and he could pick it up, and he was wrong. Trademark law has to do primarily with the public perception, and the fact is, when Robert first called me up, when he asked me to review the trademark situation, at first it was a mess because it started off as a crowdfunding hashtag, or no, started out as a hashtag, wasn't used in commerce. Anyway, long story short, everything coalesced around Ethan being the first person to use it in commerce. thanks in part to War Campaign, who promoted the Caesar of Comicsgate, and there was no doubt. But Preston
Thank
was
you, War
unaware of any
Campaign.
of this.
Hail War Campaign.
Yeah. Well, and then here's the funny thing. Now, Critias really thought that he had dropped the ball, and he's not a trademark attorney, but he had been talking to Dark Gift, and they agreed that Dark Gift could use the mark. And Dark Gift really didn't realize that the legal situation. And then Preston filed what's called a re-examination because he was focused on Critias not using it. What he didn't realize was that Critias had allowed Dark Gift to use it. And anyway, long story short, we won. And now the proceeding goes back to the trademark board, and we've already won 2 of the 3 issues because the trademark board had 3 issues: non-use, abandonment, and fraud. Well, because of the recent decision, the first 2 are now decided. Because of the licensing, they're all set. Now, there's one last thing I want to say before I get back to spending my evening,
with your family,
whiskey. Well, no, I'm just gonna drink and celebrate.
Okay,
Scott, we're your family.
Yeah, that's right. But anyway, so Ethan was using it primarily as a service mark. So we have a pending application for that. Critias used it on comics, and that's registered. When Preston sued Ethan, Preston once again, focusing on the fact that he thought Critias had dropped the football, started using Comicsgate, not realizing that the word you were looking for is counterfeiting.
Counterfeit.
Yeah, and counterfeiting is worse than trademark infringement. And we're entitled to statutory damages, $200,000.
All right, hold on, everybody.
For willful counterfeiting, $2 million. So that's some serious stuff. He was gambling, obviously, that this trademark would be canceled. And now he has his first major defeat. Now, the pressure's really going to be on. We'll see what he does. But, he's facing major Lanham Act violations. And so we'll see. He's in the category of people that buy Rolex watches and Gucci bags. He's not.
What is the Lanham Act? Can you give a quick rundown on what the
Lanham Act is? The name of the trademark law. Trademark law is governed by the Lanham Act, so that's where that comes from. So let's see. The last thing I want to say is now Ethan has a 3rd registration application for clothing. And so, Ethan now has gone from Mr. I'll just do my best with the common law right. Now he's going to have his own, almost like a real company. He's going to have trademark registrations in 3 classes. So good for him.
Pretty
cool. Once again, shout out to Critias, Anthony Romano, and Robert Romano. And I have to say, none of this could have been possible without them. The lawyer can only work with what we have. And so I just want to say, those guys deserve all the credit. And I think it says something to the Comicsgate movement that Ethan had almost nothing to do with this at the beginning. But, he bought the marks and he's taken over. So it was really, a team effort, and I think that says a lot for you guys. So that's it.
Thank you, Scott. You've done a fantastic job.
Yep. That's all right. Ethan's paying for it.
Yeah, let me thank him. Thank you, Scott. I really appreciate all of what you've done here for this movement. We were surrounded by parasites and people who want to hurt us all the time, and a lot of them have become litigious, and it's all fraudulent and goofy and just ugly. The quicker we end this, the quicker we stand up for ourselves and actually push back, I think the better. But what's most important is that we protect Comicsgate. It is the word that describes what we're doing here. We've all worked hard for it. We've endured being slimed over it. Obviously, we should have possession over it. I will guard it. I will take good care of it. Anybody who wants to use it in commerce can come to me and Scott. We will find a way. Is this right, Scott? What is the plan here? How do we license out Comicsgate to Comicsgaters for temporary use?
It's real simple. You're the licensor. So anybody that goes to you wants a license, you find out if it's appropriate, and then I'll send them a simple license. The requirements are real simple. It'll probably be a non-exclusive license, and it'll probably not be for any money, but they'll have to just agree that you get to monitor and make sure that it doesn't.
Just make sure you're Comicsgate. Yeah, you're not.
Yeah, if it turns out it's Kelly Sue DeConnick, then you might cancel the license.
That's right. Okay. Thank you so much, Scott. Really appreciate all your hard work. Back to the whiskey, right. And we'll see you soon.
Cheers. Right, bye bye.
Yeah. Bye, George. That's great news, EVS.
Yeah, it's fantastic. It's great news.